So I understand why Spain is number 2 on this list. Although I had a pleasant experience, racism wasn't necessarily directed towards me. I can tell as a Black person, Spain might not be the best place to live or have a family. Because something was off about the Black people there. And what was off was the fact that they were treated as second-class citizens. There was one experience that I did have in Spain where people like bumped into me and one of my Black friends and they kept walking, and then we were just like, okay, and then we just started speaking English and talking like normal, and as soon as we started speaking English, they turned around smiling like, are you from America? I've been to certain countries where the minute they hear me speaking English, they just switch up on me. Ugh, and I'll talk about that more later, but there are countries where as soon as you speak English or you are known to be American because you have an American accent or you dress like an American.
Why are white people wearing blackface makeup for festivities? Why was a street vendor hunted down just for being an immigrant? And what is the deal with the Red Cross volunteer who got bullied by the internet just for hugging a Black man? These events are among the many others that spark controversy all over Spain, begging the question, is Spain the most racist country in Europe against the Black community? A question that has long been asked, to which we will try to answer today. Join us as we go over the many problematic events that have happened and are still happening in Spain concerning the Black community. Please give this video a like and consider subscribing to help this channel grow and continue to spread awareness. And with that, let's begin. Spain, located in the southwestern part of Europe, is a country that has a long history of colonialism spanning continents and centuries. Known for its conquests in Africa and Asia, Spain's colonial legacy has deeply influenced its identity and the many cultures it encountered, or rather, destroyed. During the era of European colonialism, Spain, like other colonial powers, engaged in practices of subjugation, exploitation, and forced labor, profoundly affecting the indigenous populations of Africa. The legacy of slavery, forced labor, and cultural erasure continues to be reflected in the collective memory of African communities, shaping their perceptions of Spain and its role in their histories. Many years have passed since those dark times, and it seems like modern Spain has been attempting to move on from its troubled past. The question is, has there truly been a change in their treatment toward the Black community? Let's take a quick look into the historical, social, and cultural aspects to get an idea. In this picture, you can see the raw emotions of a Black man as he was hugged by a Spanish volunteer. It was supposed to be a beautiful moment if not for the massive hate that followed. In a controversial moment that caught the attention of people worldwide, a Red Cross volunteer named Luna Reyes became the talk of Ceuta, Spain. In a video capturing the scene, Luna was seen offering a bottle of water to a migrant who had just arrived in Ceuta. After the man drank the water, he and Luna hugged, and the man was seen crying, apparently traumatized by what he had just experienced hours before. Though she had not caught his name, the man had just witnessed his friend die of drowning due to the difficult route they had taken just to reach Ceuta. The Red Cross volunteer was merely comforting a grieving and tired individual. Unfortunately, the uplifting scene took a darker turn when Luna became the target of online harassment and abuse. Supporters of Spain's far-right Vox political party and others unleashed a torrent of hateful messages and threats against Luna, driven by the sudden arrival of 8,000 migrants in Ceuta, forcing her to protect herself by making her social media accounts private. Soon, these hateful individuals also discovered that Luna's boyfriend is Black, leading to further bullying and harassment directed at her. As for the Black migrant, he was eventually returned to his original country. Circumstances like these frequently happen. Like what that Black man had experienced, many other Black migrants face tough challenges when they come to Spain. With hopes for a better life, these Black individuals leave their home, their family, and everything familiar. But when they arrive in Spain, they are met with barriers at every turn. When you're a Black migrant, finding a job in the country is tough. Sometimes, even with the right qualifications and experience, employers might overlook you because of your skin color. It's not fair, but it happens. And without a job, it's hard to afford a place to live. Renting an apartment can be a nightmare when landlords discriminate against you because of the color of your skin. It's not right, but sadly, it's a reality for many Black migrants in Spain. To make matters worse, many migrants from Africa attempt to reach Spain by crossing the Mediterranean Sea in overcrowded and often dirty boats. And if they don't have a boat, some even try to swim just to get there. These journeys can be treacherous, with migrants risking their lives on flimsy vessels, often operated by smugglers who prioritize profit over safety. Rough seas, unpredictable weather conditions, and the lack of proper navigation equipment increase the risk of shipwrecks and drowning. Migrants from Africa choose this dangerous method due to a lack of alternatives. Limited legal pathways for migration and restrictive immigration policies in Europe often leave migrants with few options but to undertake dangerous and irregular journeys in search of better opportunities. They feel that the potential benefits of reaching Spain and starting a new life outweigh the risks of migration. Now, let's discuss another story worth mentioning, a story with a much darker tone. This is about a black street vendor who was hunted down by the police. Hundreds of individuals gathered for a peaceful protest in central Madrid, demanding improved treatment of street vendors by the police. This demonstration came in the wake of the death of 35-year-old Senegalese street vendor, Mame Mbaye Ndiaye, who suffered a fatal heart attack while walking away from police harassment. The incident led to clashes between protesters and riot police in Madrid's Lavapiés neighborhood, known for its migrant communities and close proximity to where Ndiaye passed away. Despite the tensions the previous day, Friday's gathering in a Lavapiés square proceeded without violence. Protesters held signs with messages such as "Enough of police harassment" and chanted slogans like "Police murderers." Madrid's mayor, Manuela Carmena, has pledged that the council would thoroughly investigate the incident. At a news conference, a council spokeswoman refuted claims made by some protesters that municipal police had chased Mbaye. According to the council, a police van was flagged down by Mbaye's companion, and 2 officers attempted to revive him while waiting for an ambulance, but unfortunately, he passed away. During the clash in the evening, 20 people were injured, according to the town hall. Illegal street vending, largely carried out by African migrants, is a common sight in Madrid and other Spanish cities. These vendors sell various items, from watches to handbags, often laying out their merchandise on blankets that can be swiftly gathered up to avoid police attention. These show how the black community is struggling just to have a better quality of life and help their families at home. Even after successfully migrating to Spain, black individuals are not free of hardship as they experience institutional racism. In the workforce, black individuals in Spain frequently encounter barriers to career advancement and equal treatment. Despite possessing qualifications and skills equal to their white counterparts, they face discrimination in hiring, promotion, and salary negotiations. Black employees may be subjected to microaggressions, exclusionary behavior, or racial harassment in the workplace, contributing to a hostile work environment and undermining their professional development and well-being. Institutional racism doesn't end with the workforce. Systemic bias within the criminal justice system in Spain contributes to racial disparities in arrest rates, sentencing, and imprisonment. Black individuals are unfairly targeted for police surveillance, stop-and-search operations, and arrests, even for minor offenses. They are more likely to face harsher sentences and longer periods of imprisonment compared to white individuals for similar crimes. This unequal treatment within the criminal justice system is the reason for poverty, marginalization, and social exclusion toward black communities in Spain. Even in healthcare, black patients may experience disparities in access to quality care and different treatment by medical professionals. They encounter many challenges in accessing healthcare services due to language barriers, cultural insensitivity, and implicit biases among healthcare providers. Black patients receive delayed diagnoses, inadequate treatment, or substandard care compared to their white counterparts, leading to poorer health outcomes and higher mortality rates. That said, stereotypes and prejudices against black individuals unfortunately still exist in Spain. These biases can be deeply ingrained in societal norms and media representations, affecting how black individuals are perceived and treated in various aspects of life. For example, black individuals in Spain encounter stereotypes that depict them as exotic, inferior, or threatening. This is causing harmful misconceptions and reinforcements of discriminatory attitudes. These stereotypes can manifest in everyday interactions, from casual conversations to professional settings, where black individuals may face microaggressions, exclusion, or outright discrimination based on their race. What's more alarming is at a very young age, children are already whitewashed by their own parents. During childhood, when social and cognitive development is still ongoing, children are highly influenced by their environment, including family, peers, and media. As a result, they may internalize societal attitudes and stereotypes about race and ethnicity, leading to discriminatory behavior towards individuals who are perceived as different from themselves. Here's an example of a black kid being bullied by other kids in a playground. The mother tried to intervene, but the kids later on followed them and continued bullying the child. Another sad fact is that black kids think that in order for a person to be beautiful, they need to have white skin and other features present in white people. From a young age, black children are bombarded with images and messages that equate beauty with whiteness. Whether through advertisements, television shows, movies, or dolls, they are consistently exposed to representations of beauty that exclude or marginalize black features. This constant reinforcement of Eurocentric beauty ideals can lead black children to internalize feelings of inferiority and inadequacy about their own appearance.
And why is that doll pretty?
Because he's white and he has 2 eyes.
Which doll is the ugly doll? Why is that doll ugly?
Because he's black.
As a result, black children may internalize the belief that in order to be considered beautiful or attractive, they must follow Eurocentric beauty norms. This can manifest in various ways, from wishing for lighter skin to desiring straighter hair or more European facial features. Such internalized racism can have profound psychological effects on black children, leading to low self-esteem, body dissatisfaction, and identity struggles. All these different cultural attitudes have negative impacts on black individuals in Spain, affecting their access to education, employment, housing, healthcare, and social opportunities. For instance, black students may face lower expectations from teachers or counselors, leading to reduced academic opportunities and achievement. And in the workforce, black professionals may encounter barriers to career advancement or unequal treatment in hiring and promotion processes. Besides that, the portrayal of black individuals in media and popular culture can also perpetuate stereotypes and reinforce negative attitudes. Limited representation and stereotypical portrayals can contribute to the marginalization and dehumanization of black individuals, further entrenching systemic inequalities and biases. Let's take a look at this story as an example. Anti-racism activists have called for a ban on the use of blackface in Spain's traditional Epiphany celebrations. Rita Bossajo, the first black woman in Spain's parliament, has been vocal about the need to end the use of blackface, particularly in events like the January 5th parades that depict the biblical 3 kings. She argues that these portrayals not only tarnish the memory of enslaved people, but also perpetuate harmful stereotypes that disempower black children. In these parades, actors portraying the 3 kings often use blackface, a practice that has persisted in some regions despite growing criticism. Bossajo believes that the persistence of blackface reflects a broader lack of debate on racism in Spanish society, sending a damaging message about the value of black lives. A recent study commissioned by the Equality Ministry found that discrimination against people of African descent is a pervasive issue in Spain, with many individuals reporting feelings of exclusion and alienation. Edward Creyes, the leader of the private organization responsible for the parade, stated, "We do not view ourselves as xenophobic or racist. We also do not see it as racist for individuals to dress up and use makeup to portray characters and bring happiness to children." Here is a clip, and we'll let you decide if this practice is racist or not. With all that being said, it's not all bad news. Despite the challenges, there's a wave of positive change sweeping across Spain as people unite to challenge stereotypes and promote inclusivity. Let us now go over some of the efforts and progress being made right here. Activist movements and advocacy groups are leading the charge for change. They organize protests to raise awareness on social media, amplify the voices of marginalized communities, and demand accountability from institutions. These activists are driving meaningful change by advocating for police reform, promoting diversity in media representation, and fighting against racial profiling. One good example of these movements is the Regularización Ya. Regularización translates to regularization now in English, and it refers to a movement advocating for the regularization of undocumented immigrants or migrants. This movement demands for the implementation of policies that would grant legal status to individuals who are currently residing in a country without proper documentation or authorization. The goal is to provide these individuals with legal recognition and protection, allowing them to live and work in the country without fear of deportation or exploitation. Expanding on regularización, it's important to note that undocumented immigrants often face numerous challenges and vulnerabilities due to their lack of legal status. They may live in constant fear of being discovered and deported, which can prevent them from accessing essential services such as healthcare, education, and legal protection. Additionally, undocumented immigrants are often subject to exploitation and abuse by employers, as they may be afraid to report labor violations or seek assistance from authorities. By advocating for regularization, the Regularización movement seeks to address these issues and promote social justice and human rights for undocumented immigrants. It emphasizes the contributions that immigrants make to society and the importance of treating all individuals with dignity and respect, regardless of their immigration status. The movement involves organizing protests, lobbying efforts, and legal advocacy to pressure governments to enact policies that would grant legal status to undocumented immigrants. It also seeks to raise awareness about the plight of undocumented immigrants and build solidarity among various communities in support of regularization efforts. Schools and educational institutions are increasingly prioritizing diversity and inclusion in their curricula. By incorporating diverse perspectives into lesson plans and hosting open discussions on race and identity, educators are empowering students to challenge stereotypes and embrace cultural diversity. Through activities such as cultural exchange programs and anti-racism workshops, young people are gaining the knowledge and skills to become agents of change in their communities. The media environment is gradually changing for the better, as it represents the variety of experiences and viewpoints within Spanish society. There is also a growing emphasis on representing Black people and other minorities in diverse and authentic ways in everything, including movies and television shows to commercial campaigns and digital content. Many local communities are coming together to support and uplift Black individuals and other marginalized groups. Community organizations are creating safe spaces where people can celebrate their identities and share their stories by organizing cultural events, celebrations, and providing resources and services. So, after considering all of this, let's revisit the question: is Spain the most racist country in Europe against the Black community? And with this question, there is also a need to consider if all of these efforts for inclusivity are enough to address the troublesome events that have occurred and are still happening. We'll let you decide for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more content like this. Also, if you have any thoughts or questions about what you just watched, we'd love to hear from you in the comments below. May you have the best day. We hope to see you in the next video.